A big hello to everyone. Let me introduce myself. My name is Kandarp and I am a GK mentor. So in today's session, we are going to discuss about the CLAT 2023 original GK section, which happened on 18th of December 2022. In this session, I would like to discuss the original questions that came in the CLAT 2023 paper, and I would like to share my inputs and my insights regarding these questions and the passages that have been asked, so that you are having a better understanding of what exactly came in the paper and how you actually performed in the paper. So this particular session will be a very useful session for the aspirants of CLAT 2024 paper. Of course, for 23 people also it's very important, because it will give them clarity as to where they fumbled, what could they have done, what they did not do. I mean, it will give you an insight of of the paper. So let's start discussing this particular section right away. Let's have a look at the passages that came in the paper. So the first passage that you can see here, it's about YouTuber Nas Daily. In one of his videos named him as the most generous billionaire, and then it's talking about a former CEO of FTX. So as I have told in my sessions number of times, you don't really have to study the whole passage in order to crack the paper, okay? But it is always advisable to have a look at least the one or two odd lines, so that it gives clarity to you as to what exactly they are referring to. So without wasting your time here, let's move on and move on to the questions. But again, I want to give you a very important input here, and that is, see, this particular passage is not a very really hot topic or a burning topic which you could have expected, but it did come in your paper. So the learning from this particular passage can be that you are expected to be an all-rounder. You need to read widely so that you are at least aware of what is happening in the world. So people who think that this is a burning topic, this is a hot issue, it must come in the paper, I think this particular passage, I would not say it's not a relevant topic to ask, but it is a topic which is on the medium level of importance. That's the way I look at it. So one learning that I can draw from this particular passage is that I must try to read as widely as possible. Okay, now let's have a look at the questions which were there after this passage. The first question: which person's name has been replaced with in the above passage? The answer to this question is Sam Bankman-Fried. If you have been reading the newspapers watching the news channels, you might have find such kind of news coming up that cryptocurrency exchange got crashed and a lot of losses were there. So this is coming from there only. But when it comes to facts, I don't think it's a very difficult nut to crack, provided you have been reading the things regularly. So the answer to this question is Sam Bankman-Fried. Which hedge fund name has been replaced with two in the passage above? Now again, it's slightly a depthful question. थोड़ा सा depthful सवाल है. Not an easy nut to crack. Those of you who have read it in detail can crack it. Though the answer is option B, that is Alameda Research, that's okay. But I would not find it an easy nut to crack. ये बहुत आसान सवाल नहीं है crack करने के लिए. थोड़ी सी depthful understanding होनी चाहिए, then you can crack this question. This person was once named the world's youngest self-made female billionaire by Forbes magazine. Founder of the company, Theranos. What is this person? The answer to this question is Elizabeth Holmes. That's for sure. But I would rate this question as slightly easier as compared to this question, because in this question it is giving you a hint that she is the youngest self-made billionaire. So as a woman, so it's very important. This hint itself is sufficient. So if you are a well-read person, you should crack this question. Now, let's look at these three questions. Question number 1, 2, and 3. All these questions are related with that particular, Sam Bankman-Fried and this Alameda Research and this Elizabeth Holmes. Though they are not directly linked with that particular passage, but they are in the aura of that passage. They are linked with that for sure. Directly, they are linked with that, right? When it comes to the, its dimensional link, if we talk about. So out of these three, I am able to see at least one or two are crackable. Question number 1 and 3 are crackable. 2, I find it slightly difficult. It's slightly demanding in nature. Let's look at question number 4. Interestingly, if you see, just a minute please. Interesting, if you see, The question number 4 says, the Reserve Bank of India recently announced the launch of digital rupee wholesale segment, a form of which of the following? Now it's an interesting data. If you look at this question is in Indian context. So it's a parallel question to that particular, crypto exchange, cryptocurrency thing. The options are Digi Suvidha, virtual wallet, central bank digital currency, cyber rupee. Now out of A, B, C, D, it's very visible if you are reading newspapers regularly. CBDC was in the news like hell. So this question should be correct. It's an easy question. No problems in this. Option C is the right answer. But even if you want to use elimination process, let's see option A, Digi Suvidha, it seems a service. Virtual wallet, cyber rupee is okay, but if you see central bank is more competent as an option, right? If you put some amount of energy into it, you can easily crack this question. Though if you're a well-read person, it's not a problem to you at all. The answer is option C here. So question number 4. Let's see some more questions. Surprisingly, this time the number of questions went up per passage. Earlier there used to be 7 passages, 5 questions. This time there are 7 questions per passage. There are 5 passages. So it's a change that has happened. But I think this change is a balanced change. It's not a negative thing, because if you see the questions, we saw those 3 questions which are coming directly from that cryptocurrency thing. And the rest of the questions are not coming from there. They're coming from the other topics associated with that particular event. For example, technologies does cryptocurrency rely upon? It's a very fundamental thing, इसमें कोई बहुत ग्रे मैटर नहीं लगाना. Look at this, cryptography. Graphy has to do with something, making your own presentation. Blockchain is a technology, we know. Spectrography हो नहीं सकता. A and B दोनों. Cryptography is graph. जैसे बोलते हैं ना autograph, वैसे ही cryptograph. तो दोनों is representation or creating something होता है. Blockchain is a technology, so it cannot be both A and B. It's blockchain direct. No problem with that. So this question is an easy one to crack. If you have common sense, you can crack it. Next one. What is another government of India owned corporation that means coins used as legal tender in India? National Financial Management, नाम से ही समझ में आ रहा है, नहीं हो सकता. Security Printing and Minting Corporation of India. Yes, this seems a probable answer. Whereas rest, India Infrastructure Finance Company, National Bank for Agriculture. See, the options are very बहुत ही घटिया options हैं, एकदम थकी हुई options हैं. थोड़ी बहुत common sense भी apply करोगे तो this question can be cracked. Answer is option B for sure. Next one. Who was the founder and the former chairman of Satyam Computers Limited and was sentenced to prison and filed for corporate misconduct? See, this question is a difficult nut to crack. If you have a knack of reading, if you are aware of the past events happened in the IT space, then you can crack it. But again, if you can apply the common sense, if you are a well-read person, let's look at the options. Harshad Mehta. There was a movie also on Harshad Mehta. And you also know about Ketan Parekh, 1998, Ketan Parekh thing happened, 1992, Harshad Mehta thing happened. Now we are left with Nirav Modi. It has to do with, diamond merchant and, he fled away by taking the loan of government of India. So if you apply elimination, I think you will crack it. The answer is option C. But still, I'm not finding it as an easy nut to crack. It's based on the history of the scams that happened in India. So out of these 7 questions, my very big understanding that is coming to my mind is question number 1, 2 and 3, even if you have not done the FTX thing, you will find them slightly difficult to crack, right? But if you are a well-read person, you can crack at least 1 to 2. Question number 4, surely crackable. Question number, just a minute please. Yeah. Question number 5, surely crackable. Question number 6, crackable. Question number 7, slightly demanding. So out of this, this whole passage, my suggestion, my take on that would be that you should be able to crack at least 4 questions out of these 7. So I'm taking it as 4 plus. That's the correct way of looking at it. Rest of them are slightly challenging to me. Okay. Let's move on to another passage and see what's in there as is in store for you. And the next passage is this. Former governor of a state and National Democratic Alliance candidate Draupadi Murmu was elected. I think it was very much expected as a passage. I did talk about it in my classes in the past. So I'm very sure students must be happy by looking at this passage only. But look at the questions. Let's look at the questions directly. Before Draupadi Murmu, India had only one other female president, Pratibha Patil. When did Pratibha serve as the president of India? Now you can apply some common sense here. It happened in 2022. So you can reduce the years and then you can calculate which one can be the answer. So 22, 5, 17, 12, then you can remove 5 more. 2007. If you have little bit of knack of reading the presidents and all, so this question is a good question. I read it as a good question, but I remember I did solve it in my classes, and the answer is of course either 2007 or 2012. So if you see 2012-17 की बातें करें तो देवी सिंह पाटिल जी का थोड़ा टेन्योर पुराना रहा है. So my sixth sense is telling me it should be the answer. A is the right answer. President Murmu has elected the governor of, we know that Jharkhand. It's a sita. देसी घी का लड्डू है ये, मतलब कुछ है ही नहीं इसके अंदर. The first presidential election was held by the election in which year? Of course 52 से governance रही थी. So 52 is the year, surely. Rashtrapati Bhavan was formerly known as the Viceroy's Palace. Where did the Governor General reside before the transfer of British capital to Delhi in 1911? Now this is a historical question. ये history का सवाल है. Difficult है. You cannot crack it. Not an easy nut to crack. So the answer is Belvedere House, right? So out of these 4 questions, I can see question number 1 sure, 2 sure means doable hai. Question number 3 doable hai. 4 is a difficult nut. I find it difficult, so difficult to solve. Let's move to the 4th. Next one, and the next one is this. Just a minute, please. Question number 5. Who among the following was a candidate in the elections for the Vice President of India in 2022? So many students have fumbled on this. They have taken it as President and they went to Jashwant Sinha. It's not the right answer. Of course, it is Margaret Alva. That is the right answer. We did it in our classes a number of times. Voting in an Indian presidential election is through. It's a very fundamental question. You know, President of India की election की बात हो रही है. We must know कब से President का election होता है. So किस process से होता है? A proportional representation system through a single transparent vote cost and secret. This is the right answer for sure. Straight. Next one. Who was the first Dalit to hold the President of India? I think if you apply some common sense here, so all of them are competent options, but one of the oldest ones are either V.V. Giri or this K.R. Narayanan. Actually, it is K.R. Narayanan. He was a lawyer also. He was a constitutional expert also, and he was the one first Dalit. So if you see question number 7, if you see question number 6, if you see question number, just a minute please. If you see question number 3, and if you see question number 4, so out of these 7 questions, I can see there are 4 questions which tests your constitutional history and its understanding. So interestingly, they have merged static GK questions in context of the current affairs questions. So out of these 7 questions, to my mind, this is crackable, this is crackable, this is for sure, this is a difficult nut to crack. Let's see some more. This is crackable, this is crackable, and this is crackable. So मेरे को clearly नजर आता है, out of these 7 questions, if you are cracking at least 6 questions, I mean 6 is something which is a doable number. So मुझे clearly नजर आता है बहुत easy passage था. इस पे अगर तुमने गलती की है तो बड़ा मुश्किल होगा, एटलीस्ट इस पैसेज के लिहाज से मुश्किल होगा. सो इट वाज एन इजी नट टू क्रैक, बहुत इजी था ये. सो आई एक्सपेक्ट 6 क्वेश्चंस बीइंग क्रैक्ड हियर. मूव ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट वन. The agriculture sector has experienced buoyant growth in the past 2 years. The sector, which is the largest employer of workforce, accounts for sizable 18.8% in gross value added of the country, registering a growth of 3.6% 2021, 3.9% 2022. So this question to me is basically a economics passage based question. So this time they have done justice with the whole system, and they have kind of put economics based passage also, just to test your economic understanding. Now let's look at the questions. Question number 1. Which of the following is the largest exported agriculture product from India? Export की बात कर रहा है, production की बात नहीं कर रहा है. Don't be confused. The answer is rice here. Rice maximum export किया जाता है. I think if I'm not wrong, India is the second largest producer of rice in the world also. According to original data released by the Director General of Commerce, this. What has been the value of the India's agricultural products exports according to this data? Now this is not an easy nut to crack. ये आसान नहीं है. If you know, you can crack it. If you don't, you can't. So the answer is 50.21 billions. So a statistical fundamental question is here. Who among the following also called the father of white revolution? Now this is interesting. Wheat revolution की बात कर रहा है. हम लोगों ने व्हाइट रेवोल्यूशन पढ़ा है, हम लोगों ने ग्रीन रेवोल्यूशन पढ़ा है, फादर ऑफ ग्रीन रेवोल्यूशन पढ़ा है, फादर ऑफ ग्रीन रेवोल्यूशन इन इंडिया पढ़ा है, बट व्हीट रेवोल्यूशन दैट टू इन इंडिया, Now this is too much to ask for. बहुत ज़्यादा है. I don't expect such kind of questions coming in the law entrance exam. This is too much to ask for as per my understanding, because we are basically testing students' general knowledge. I mean, this is the way I look at it. Okay, so we can't say anything because we are at the receiver's end, right? So the answer though is it's Dilbag Singh Athwal. Next one, world's largest producer which is the following: poultry meat, rice, almond milk. World knows that. Milk में हम लोग number 1 है. So straight question है. So कोई value addition है ही नहीं. So out of these 4 questions, I think 1 is crackable and 4 is crackable. इतना आसान नहीं है पेपर जितना आसान लग रहा था. I don't think it's a very easy paper to solve. तो मेरे हिसाब से out of 4 आप 2 questions तो definitely crack कर सकते हैं. Let's see some more. Just a minute, please. Just a second, please. Some more questions. Here it goes. Now look at the beauty. They have mixed the questions, you know. It says, what is India's ranking in 20 global index? We know it was very much in the news because of government of India not accepting it. It was 107 and a lot of furor was there about it. So straight question hai. National Commission on Farmers constituted in December 2004 recommended C2 plus 50 formula for calculation of the minimum support price. Now minimum support price was the main problem. So who created the formula? M.S. Swaminathan was the one who did it. So it's a historical question, contextual question, but demanding question, not an easy nut to crack. Next one, the biodecomposer technologies avoid sustainable stubble burning around Delhi NCR. So answer is ICAR Pusa campus, that's the answer. But what I'm trying to highlight is that a very big learning is coming from this particular passage. Number 1, the questions are very, very wide. I mean, they are touching your historical context. They are taking care of your understanding of the things in context. And they are asking parallel and important questions. So one learning that can be taken from this particular passage questions is that the questions which we see forthcoming, coming in your forthcoming examinations will not be, purely topic-centric questions. They can ask you parallel and wide questions which are on the lines of that particular topic. So out of this particular, this one, how many marks can I expect? Just to see. Just a minute, please. Yeah, this one was a doable one. This one was a doable one. 2, 1, 2. And then we have 3, 4, at least 4. So to my mind, 4 plus marks is possible here when you are doing please understand, I'm assuming that I am a student here and I am a very good student of GK. That's the way I look at it. So if I'm a very good student of GK, so this is my call. I take 4 out of 7 in this. So if we can recall all the questions, so 4, 6, 4, that is 14 marks. Let's look at the next one. And the next passage is this. FIFA's restrictions on players wearing rainbow armbands during the 2022 World Cup in Qatar. The German Football Association has taken a matter to the Court of Sports in a protest against the FIFA's rule regarding the armband support to the particular community. Now this is about FIFA, but they are not talking directly about the FIFA thing in question. They're talking about an important development happened during the FIFA, football tournament and around the time period. So the topic is okay. Topic is very much on the expected lines, but look at the questions first. Here it goes. Just a minute, please. Sorry. Sorry. Yeah, here are the questions. What is the name of the armband that has been given, replaced with one? It's One Love. This was in the news. The name of which community? It was LGBTQ. तुम्हें पता ही होगा इसी के प्रोटेस्ट के चलते उन्होंने बैंड्स को लगाया था और ऐसा इसलिए हो रहा था क्योंकि वहां पे there were so many restrictions that were imposed in the capital of Qatar, Doha. There were many people who wanted to see the tournament, so they were kind of restricted and they had to give in to their demands, and that's where all these protests were happening. So doable hai. Next one. What is the name of the system used to monitor and regulate migrant laborers, which is used in Qatar and a few other countries, and which came under heavy criticism in the build-up of FIFA? See, I think these questions are very relevant. If you are following FIFA closely, then you can find all these developments happening there. The system was kafala. कफाला सिस्टम में क्या होता है कि जो माइग्रेंट लेबरर्स होते हैं उनके वीजा पे जो कंट्रोल होता है वो उनके एम्प्लॉयर्स का होता है. ओके, उनके एम्प्लॉयर्स डिसाइड करते हैं उनका कब वीजा एक्टिवेट करना है, कब रिवोक करना है. सो दैट्स व्हाई इट्स देयर. It was in the news of late for sure. Court of arbitration for sports based, Lausanne, Switzerland. It is the place. Not an easy nut to crack. ये आसान नहीं है. Out of these 4, मुझे लगता है you should crack this one and this one. 3 तो crack होते नजर आते हैं मुझको. If not the 4th one, not an easy one. In fact, पहला भी शायद तुम ना crack कर पाओ. I'm taking it to be 2. मेरे ख्याल से 2 questions तुम इसमें जरूर से crack कर सकते हो. Let's see some more. Yeah. Who is the current captain of Indian men's football team? Sunil Chhetri. It's a very straight question. Famous नाम है. 2 ही नाम है जो नजर आते हैं. Sunil Chhetri और बाईचुंग भूटिया. Timothy Wee, the PSG and US national team player in FIFA World Cup in Qatar, is the son of the president of which country? It's Liberia. Interesting. It was highlighted. ये न्यूज में था. बहुत ही रिमोट डेटा है मगर पूछा गया है. Which of the following is the oldest football Durand Cup? It was in the news. बहुत पुराना टूर्नामेंट है जो न्यूज में आ रहा है. So if you look at the questions of FIFA World Cup, they test your overall understanding of the whole event's development and very important points that were there in the FIFA World Cup, and they're touching upon that. So the learning is that they are not asking superficial questions, they are asking depthful questions, demanding questions, and you need to be prepared for that. So to my mind, how many marks can I expect in this particular passage? कितने marks आने चाहिए? Let's see. Slightly difficult. Doable, sure. 1. Sure. 2. Difficult. I mean 2 marks तो मैं यहाँ पे ले सकता हूँ. Though it sounds an easy one, आसान लगता है. 3. Yes. And 4. या इन दोनों में से कोई एक. So I can take 4. मुझे 4 नजर आते हैं यहाँ पे. So in 4 passages, my take on this would be 4, 6, 4, 4. So 18 marks so far. Let's look at the next one. And the last passage was about, just a sec please. I want everyone to understand that I am in fact a person who wrote Lambda in an interview conducted by the engineer Blake Lemoine. One of his colleagues, Lemoine, a software engineer at Google, had been working on the development of Lambda for months. His experience with the program, described in a recent Washington Post article, caused quite a stir. In the article recounts many dialogues he had with Lambda, in which the two talked about various topics ranging to technical philosophical issues. Okay, now this whole kahani is about a chatbot or some AI related development. We can make out this much. Let's look at the questions to solve them fast. This topic seems very much offbeat to me, completely off track to me. To my mind, this is an out of the world topic. ये बहुत relevant topic बिल्कुल भी नहीं है. It's a speed breaker topic. ये अगर आप कर पाए तो ठीक है, नहीं कर पाए तो कोई इशू नहीं है. Let's look at the questions. लेकिन मेरी एक सजेशन है, even if you find the topic to be very very difficult, my suggestion will always be to have a look at the questions, please, because the questions are not directly coming from the passage. They are parallel, they are linked. Let's look at the questions first. सबसे पहले देखते हैं questions. Here it goes. Whose name is written in the passage above? So they're talking about if you look at the passage is talking about a machine, 1950, mathematician 1, right? So 50s की अगर हम बात करें और computers की बात करें तो मुझे 2 ही नाम नजर आते हैं. एक नाम मुझे ब्लेज पास्कल का नजर आता है, द मैन बिहाइंड द फादर ऑफ कंप्यूटिंग भी कहते हैं उसको, और दूसरा जो मेजर व्यक्ति रहे उनका नाम एलन ट्यूरिंग है. सो इफ आई लुक एट द ऑप्शंस हियर, देखो ये क्वेश्चंस मैं इसलिए क्रैक कर पा रहा हूं क्योंकि आई एम अ वेल रेड पर्सन, काफी पढ़ा है मैंने, तो मैं इसको क्रैक कर पा रहा हूं. बट तुम्हारे लिए आसान नहीं है. ऑप्शंस आर क्लोज, पीटर हिल्टन, एल्बर्ट आइंस्टाइन. द आंसर इज एलन ट्यूरिंग. नॉट एन इजी नट टू क्रैक. गैरी कास्परोव, वर्ल्ड चेस चैंपियन 1997. माय गॉड, इट्स आउट ऑफ द वर्ल्ड. आई नो इट, डीप ब्लू होता था उस टाइम पे, बट तुम्हारे लिए आसान नहीं है. द एम्परर्स न्यू माइंड कंसर्निंग कंप्यूटर माइंड, लॉज ऑफ फिजिक्स 1989 की बुक है. हुज बुक? रॉजर पेनरॉस. उसको फिजिक्स का 2020 का नोबेल मिला. देयर इज अ क्लू हियर. अगर तुम्हें 2020 के फिजिक्स के नोबेल प्राइज का नाम याद है तो कर सकते हो, वरना आसान नहीं है. What kind of computing model resembles the way which biological neurons exchange signals in the human brain? Neural network. ये न्यूज में था ये वाला टॉपिक भी. See, मैं इतना कह सकता हूं, देखिए जितने भी क्वेश्चन पूछे गए हैं कहीं ना कहीं लिंक्ड हुए हैं हमारे मटेरियल से, कहीं ना कहीं कवर हुए हैं. दो बहुत स्ट्रांगली हम उसको एम्फेसाइज नहीं कर पाए शायद. रीजन बीइंग वी डिड नॉट फाइंड देम टू बी दैट इंपॉर्टेंट, बट द वे द क्वेश्चंस हैव बीन आस्क्ड, इट्स they have done good amount of hard work in asking these questions. That's what I would say. So to me, they have been touched. It depends how well you have read them. That's the point. So sure, the answer is this. चारों सवालों में से कितने होते नजर आ रहे हैं प्रैक्टिकली? I think none. मेरे को एक भी नजर नहीं आ रहा. I'm finding all of them difficult. See, I am looking at it from the student's perspective, not talking about me. मुझे पता है, तुम्हें पता होगा, जरूरी नहीं है, right? Let's look at the rest of the questions first. Last questions देख लेते हैं बहुत तेजी के साथ. Full form of lambda, landing macro data, language model for dialogue application, large model data application, large. See, इसको कॉमन सेंस से कर सकते हैं, बिकॉज उसमें दिखाया था कि वो डायलॉग कर रहा है. उसके बाद इफ यू रीड द पैसेज, इसने बोला कि डायलॉग करता, उसमें इस पे जा सकते हैं, 1 मार्क मिल सकता है कहीं ना कहीं. मेटा न्यूली रिलीज फुली ट्रेन्ड लार्ज लैंग्वेज एआई मॉडल. माय गॉड, दिस इज डिफिकल्ट. द आंसर इज ओपीटी. एंड द लास्ट वन इज व्हाट इज द नेम ऑफ द एआई इनेबल्ड लीगल रिसर्च असिस्टिव टूल इन द सुप्रीम कोर्ट ऑफ इंडिया अप्रैल 2021. हिस्टोरिकल है, तो द आंसर इज सुपास. सी, टू माई माइंड, आउट ऑफ दीज 3 मुझे लगता है मैं एक ही क्वेश्चन क्रैक कर सकता हूं. 1 is the final mark that I'm going to take. So मैं अगर अपने स्कोर को देखूं तो मेरे 5 पैसेज में जो स्कोर आ रहा है, it's something like 4 marks in passage number 1, 6 marks in passage number 2, 4 marks then 4 marks again. Okay, so it becomes 18 plus 1. So to the best of my knowledge, my score comes out to be around 19. So मेरा ऐसा मानना है, a broad calculation is somebody who is scoring 20 marks in this GK section, he is a really good student, really good score. Okay, really good score to my mind. So for an average student, if you are able to score anything beyond 14, I rate it as a very very good score. अच्छा स्कोर है ये. सेक्शन मॉडरेटली डिफिकल्ट रेट करूंगा मैं. आई वुड रेट इट एज मॉडरेटली डिफिकल्ट. मेरा मानना है एनीथिंग बिटवीन 15 to 20 और 14 to 20 वुड बी अ वेरी वेरी डिसेंट स्कोर. 20 तो बहुत ही अच्छा स्कोर होगा. एंड आई एम नॉट आस्किंग यू टू टेक चांसेस हियर, बट इसको मैं मॉडरेटली डिफिकल्ट पेपर की संज्ञा देता हूं. सो मेरी अंडरस्टैंडिंग के हिसाब से इसमें जितने भी पैसेज पूछे गए हैं, 3 पैसेजेस तो वेरी मच डूएबल हैं, जैसे प्रेसिडेंट वाला पैसेज, फीफा वाला पैसेज, and of course the passage about this the first one that we did, that FTX वाला पैसेज. बट 2 पैसेजेस इसमें थोड़े गड़बड़ हैं जो मेरे को बहुत समझ में नहीं आए, स्पेशली वो LNM ट्यूरिंग वाला पैसेज, और देयर वाज वन मोर, यू रिमेंबर दैट, राइट? In fact, I would say let's have a look. Just a minute. Let me just read them once again. Just a minute. I think this was slightly a, it was medium level passage to me. ये मेरे लिए medium level का passage था, लेकिन आया तो मैं इसको negate नहीं कर सकता. But yes, it is slightly problematic to me as a passage. इतना straight नहीं है ये. If you look at the next one, this is a doable one. बिल्कुल ठीक है, इसमें कोई problem नहीं है. So FTX is slightly problematic to me. And then एग्रीकल्चर इज यस डूएबल है. इसमें एग्रीकल्चर कमोडिटी इंडिया मैक्सिमम प्रोड्यूसर किसका, मिक्स टाइप का है, डूएबल है. देन फीफा डूएबल है श्योरली. एंड जस्ट अ मिनट प्लीज, this one is a problematic one. So at the end I would like to say that the whole paper, the section of GK, was moderately difficult. अटेम्प्ट तुमको कम से कम 20 प्लस करने चाहिए थे. विद 100% एक्यूरेसी में तुम्हारे 20 मार्क्स आ सकते हैं एट बेस्ट. लेकिन नॉर्मली इफ यू आर स्कोरिंग एनीथिंग अराउंड 14 to 20, उनके बीच में कोई भी स्कोर आ रहा है, इंक्लूडिंग 14 and 20 बोथ, आई थिंक इट्स अ गुड स्कोर. सो चैलेंजिंग था जीके हमेशा की तरह. बिग लर्निंग्स फ्रॉम देयर. 1, you need to read widely, number 1. Number 2, everything is करंट अफेयर से क्वेश्चंस आए हैं. नवंबर के महीने से कई पैसेज पूछे गए हैं. Number 3, you have to have a good understanding of issues when it comes to their history. So they ask questions on the static GK portion also. And number 4, GK is something which is challenging for sure. I admit that. But please understand, ये तुम्हारी बात नहीं है. All the students have faced the similar music. So don't worry about it कि GK difficult था, मेरा GK खराब हो गया, ऐसा सोचने की बिल्कुल भी जरूरत नहीं है. Whatever best you could do, you have done, and you will get what you deserve. So to my mind, if you are able to score anything beyond 15, ranging from 15 to 20, it's a very good score when you look at this level of difficulty of paper. So with this, I would like to say a big thank you to all of you. Thank you very much, everyone. In case if you have any query or concern, if you want to have clarity on this, you can write back to me at my email ID, which is, I'm writing it here for you. It's kandarp.rai, kandarp careerlauncher.com. Okay, so my email ID, I'm repeating it once again, it's kandarp.try@careerlauncher.com. Wish you all the very best for your actual result and your forthcoming examinations also. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye-bye. Thank you.